Welcome everybody to another video. This one is very close to my heart because where we come from is more than a place. It's something, the place you come from, the earth you come from is very close to you. It's something that is deeply ingrained into your being, into your heart. And where I come from is a hilltop city called Corigliano Calabro that is situated in Calabria, in southern Italy. This city has gone through centuries and centuries of conquest, of colonizations, and with different cultures and different people coming through that have come and gone, and they've shaped this land, leaving an undeniable mark. An undeniable mark that can also be found through its language. You also have to know that Corigliano Calabro and like any other municipality in Calabria or in any other corner of the Italian peninsula, people speak a very distinctive dialect. It's understandable from people that come from a particular region. For example, in the south, you can understand what people say. However, Corigliano Calabro has a very distinctive dialect because it has been shaped by different other languages and cultures, as we'll see. We will uncover some historical facts that are not known in the Anglophone world. Since I spent my first 27 years of my life in Italy, I thought it would have been an interesting opportunity to develop and go through the story and the origin of this land. So I welcome you to Corigliano Calabro, a sun-kissed gem in the earth of southern Italy, and in Calabria, where rolling hills bloom with ancient vines and every corner whispers tales of adventure. From early farmers planting the seed of a rich legacy to Greek heroes, Roman builders, and spirited locals. This hilltop town bursts with stories waiting to be explored and to be told. So let's dive into a place where history dances with everyday life. And I invite you with me to uncover this timeless charm. Picture a sun-soaked land in southern Italy where ancient vines twist over rolling hills, and the echoes of empires clashing and fading linger in the air. This is Corigliano Calabro, a hilltop town pulsing as the heart of Calabria. Its story is woven from the dreams of farmers, the courage of warriors, and the spirit of visionaries, rooted in the fertile plains and kissed by restless seas. Around 1500 BCE, the Oenotrians swept into southern Italy, their name echoing the Greek word for wine, guided, some say, by a mythical leader, Oenotrius, from Arcadia, a rugged region in Greece's Peloponnese, cradle of ancient myths. Around 1260 BCE, these Italic people carved a home from Paestum, a coastal Greek city founded later, famed for its majestic Doric temples, to the wild hills of Calabria. They tilled the fertile soil, planting vineyards that sparked the region's agricultural renown. Though their footsteps may not mark Corigliano's hills directly, the Oenotrians' legacy of farming wove the first threads of Calabria's rich identity, a land of bounty, rooted in the vines they nurtured. By the 8th century BCE, Greece was restless, overcrowded, torn by strife, and hungry for new horizons. City-states sought the Oracle of Delphi, where Apollo's priestess, the Pythia, entered a trance, her cryptic prophecy guiding colonists to fertile lands. Her divine visions, blending omens and tales of rich soils, pointed to southern Italy, soon called Magna Graecia, or Greater Greece, for its thriving Greek cities. Around 720 BCE, settlers from Achaia and northern Peloponnese region of seafarers and Troezen, a coastal city of traders, founded Sybaris, just 20 miles from Corigliano's future hills, near modern Sybaris, nestled between the Crati and Koscile rivers. A decade later, around 710 BCE, Miskelos of Ripai, inspired by the oracle's riddle to settle where the rain falls and the sky is clear, founded Kroton, now Crotone, 40 miles south by the Esaro River. These colonists, blessed by Apollo's favor, transformed Calabria into a beacon of wealth and culture, their legacy woven into Corigliano's timeless soul. By the 6th century BCE, Sybaris flourished as Magna Graecia's crown jewel, just 20 miles from Corigliano's future hills. Its fertile plain yielded wheat, olives, and wine, fueling vast trade and wealth. Historian Diodorus Siculus claimed Sybaris controlled 25 settlements and mustered armies of 300,000, though these numbers likely exaggerate its might. Its opulent lifestyle, with lavish banquets and grand civic works, coined the term Sybaritic, meaning indulgent, a word still used today. In the sunlit city of Kroton, just 40 miles south of what would one day be Corigliano's hills, athletes strode like titans, giants of flesh and spirit. Their victories echoed across the ancient world. Founded around 710 BCE, Kroton rose as a shining jewel of Magna Graecia. Its wealth and part of its civic character were shaped by the ideals of Pythagoras, who arrived from Samos around 530 BCE. His philosophy of harmony, discipline, and order influenced a generation of citizens, blending mind and body in pursuit of excellence. Even the geographer Strabo marveled at Kroton's athletes, who outshone all rivals and ignited civic pride with every triumph. From this golden age emerged legends, none greater than Milo of Kroton, a colossus of a man. He claimed 6 Olympic crowns in wrestling between 540 and 516 BCE. Myths say that he could carry a full-grown bull and crush enemies with godlike strength. At the time, whispers claimed that one Crotoniad Olympian matched the might of 7 Greek athletes, a tale born of the city's dazzling record in wrestling, boxing, and pankration. While no ancient scroll confirms this exact boast, Kroton's dominance in the 6th century Olympics, where its victors outshone rivals from Athens to Sparta, gave rise to such myths. The city's pride, etched in its festivals and temples, painted its champions as near mythical, their feats growing larger with each telling. A rivalry seethed between Sybaris' famed decadence and Kroton's proud discipline, stoked by wealth and ambition across the coastal plain. Around 510 BCE, conflict erupted. Sybaris' ruler, Telis, overthrew the oligarchy and exiled 500 aristocrats who flew to Kroton. When Telis demanded their return, Kroton, allegedly urged by Pythagoras and led by the legendary Milo, refused. Despite Sybaris' superior numbers, ancient sources claim 300,000 to Kroton's 100,000, though modern historians doubt such figures. Kroton triumphed. The city raised Sybaris, and legend holds that they diverted the Crati River in 70 days to flood the city. Today, Sybaris' ruins lie 6 meters deep, buried under silt and shadowed by groundwater. In 444 BCE, Athenians founded Thurii atop the site, but the Sybarites had long scattered, some perhaps into the hills near Corigliano. In the 3rd century BCE, Rome's legions swept through the Greek colonies in southern Italy, and the region came to be known as Ager Bruttius, after its fierce Brutzi tribes. On the fated ruins of Sybaris, they founded Copia, in 193 BCE, a practical Roman colony whose fields of grain and olives fed the ever-hungry empire. Not far away, along the Ionian coast's BC trade routes, Corigliano likely began as Praedium, a rural estate, perhaps called Praedium Corellianum, named for a landowner like Corilius. Its fertile lands, cooled by sea breezes, poured bounty into Rome's coffers, anchoring Calabria's quiet but vital role in the Republic's rise. High above, the Sila Mountains stood sentinel, their ancient pines stretching toward the sky, offering Rome the sinews of its mighty fleets. As the Republic battled Carthage in the Punic Wars, the Sila's towering firs and resin-rich pines became a lifeblood for shipbuilding. Loggers, their hands stained with sap, felled these giants, boiling their oozing resin into pitch to seal galleys against the sea's relentless grasp. Down rivers like the Crati, timbers tumbled to Ionian ports, where shipwrights crafted them into vessels of empire. From Corigliano's golden fields of the Sila's forested heights, Calabria wove its wealth into Rome's destiny, a legacy that echoes in the vibrant heart of modern Corigliano Rossano. When the Western Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, the Eastern Romans, known to us as Byzantines, gradually extended their control over southern Italy, renaming the former land of the Bruzzi as Calabria. The name Calabria actually comes from the Romans, who originally used it to describe part of southern Italy, though not exactly the same area we know today. When the Byzantines took control in the 6th century CE, they adopted this name and adapted it into Greek as Calabria, keeping alive the region's identity. So, while the name Calabria has Latin roots, it was preserved and spread through Byzantine rule, blending Roman geography with Greek culture, a fitting symbol of the region's rich, layered history. By the 8th century, during the iconoclastic purges in the Byzantine East, Basilian monks fled to this region, seeking refuge. Near modern Corigliano, they established monastic communities such as San Mauro, whose spiritual life drew farmers and settlers into a loose but growing community. Some scholars suggest that Corigliano takes its name from the Byzantine Greek Korion, meaning village or farm, a quiet legacy of Greek faith and the fertile ambition that once shaped Magna Graecia. After the Saracen conquest of Palermo in 831 CE, Arab raids battered Calabria's coast for nearly 2 centuries. The term Saracens was used by medieval Europeans, particularly Christians, to describe Arab and Muslim peoples, often in the context of conflict during the early medieval period. In the history of Corigliano Calabro, Saracens refer primarily to Muslim raiders from North Africa and the Middle East, who conducted maritime raids along southern Italy's coast, including Calabria from the 7th to the 11th century CE. The small fishing village of Schiavonea, near Corigliano, endured repeated attacks. In 976, according to the Annales Beneventani, raiders landed, torched homes, and carried off villagers into slavery. The name Schiavonea may reflect later Slavic settlers or memories of these violent incursions, when captives from across the Adriatic were common in the regions. A year later, in 977, during a wave of raids attributed to an emir from Palermo, perhaps a figure like Al-Qasim, the nearby San Mauro monastic community reportedly fled inland. Seeking higher, safer ground, they helped spark the formation of Coriglianum, modern Corigliano, on a wooded hill later known as Delli Serraturi, for its sawyers, eventually evolving into Serratore. Despite the terror, Schiavonea's fishermen returned, salting anchovies and cod in quiet defiance, a testament to southern resilience. In the year 1073, the Normans forged the true beginning of Corigliano Calabro. Robert Guiscard, a formidable warlord, conquered Calabria between 1059 and 1071, ousting the Byzantines and countering Saracens' threats. On a hill above Schiavonea, overlooking the fertile Sybaris plain, he established an original fortress, later expanded into the imposing Ducal Castle, its towering keep a symbol of Norman power. This fortress guarded against nearby Byzantine Rossano and became the heart of a growing feudal town. Narrow streets and homes wound around the castle, drawing farmers, craftsmen, and survivors into a thriving community. Churches like San Pietro and Santa Maria della Platea soon emerged, alongside districts such as Portella and Giudecca. Later in the 14th century, a small Jewish population appeared, boosting the town's cultural life. By 1276, Corigliano was under the rule of the noble Sanguineto family, with a population estimated around 2,700. Around the year 1300, control passed to the powerful Sanseverino family, who reinforced the castle's walls and towers, shaping much of the structure seen today. Despite the turmoil of the times, Corigliano grew resilient, its history woven from conquest, faith, and diverse communities. In the Pendino area, a Franciscan monastery rose, while the town's olives, citrus, and timber fueled a lively trade. During the Swabian period, when the Hohenstaufen dynasty from Germany ruled southern Italy, the local economy thrived with growing agriculture and artisanal crafts. In 1475, St. Francis of Paola, the town's future patron saint, is said to have founded a convent and helped build the Ponte Canale aqueduct, which brought fresh water to squares like Giudecca and Fondaco. However, the 15th century saw slowed growth amid wars between the Angevin and the Aragonese dynasties. The Angevins and Aragonese were two powerful dynasties locked in a fierce struggle for control of southern Italy during the late Middle Ages. The Angevins, originally from the French region of Anjou, seized the kingdom of Naples and Sicily in the 13th century after the fall of the Hohenstaufens. They ruled from Naples, eager to hold onto the rich lands and strategic ports of the south. In 1282, the Sicilian people rose up in rebellion against harsh Angevin rule, an event known as the Sicilian Vespers. This revolt split the kingdom in two. Sicily fell under the rule of the Aragonese, a dynasty from northeastern Spain, while the Angevins held onto the mainland kingdom of Naples. For over a century, these rival powers battled in a series of wars, shifting alliances and political intrigue, each vying to reunite the southern kingdom under their crown. By the late 15th century, the Aragonese emerged victorious, uniting Naples and Sicily under their control, a moment that would shape southern Italy's destiny for centuries to come. In 1489, Ferdinand I of Aragon took control of the castle, and later a visit from the Duke of Calabria sparked major upgrades, including stronger walls and elegant halls. By 1532, Corigliano's population had grown to nearly 4,000. In 1538, Count Pietro Antonio Sanseverino bravely defended the town from a Saracen pirate attack led by the notorious Ottoman Admiral Hayreddin Barbarossa. In the 1600s, the Torre del Cupo watchtower was built to protect the port of Schiavonea from future raids. The Sanseverino family ruled until Niccolò Bernardino's death. In 1616, heavy debts forced the sale of Corigliano to Agostino and Giovan Filippo Saluzzo, wealthy bankers from Genoa. Their heir, Giacomo, passed it on to his son Agostino. After surviving a siege by Republican forces in 1647 and 48, Agostino was made Duke of Corigliano by Spain's King Philip IV in 1649. The 17th century was a challenging time for Corigliano. Farmland was abandoned and marshes spread, bringing malaria and a deadly plague in 1656. The Saluzzo family worked to reclaim the land and began the region's famous licorice trade, while adding Renaissance touches to the castle, like painted ceilings. By 1743, the town's population had grown to nearly 7,000, spreading into new neighborhoods beyond the old walls. In 1828, the Baron Giuseppe Compagna bought Corigliano's lands from the Saluzzos. His sons, Luigi and Francesco, set out to transform the town into a thriving hub of life and commerce. By 1879, Corigliano counted 13,000 residents, centered around its churches and convents. The 19th century brought big changes. Agrarian reforms broke up old estates, while land reclamation turned marshy plains into citrus groves. In 1871, the Ionian Railway connected Corigliano to wider markets, followed by a branch of the National Bank, signaling the town's rising importance. Between 1870 and 1880, Luigi Compagna restored the ancient Ducal Castle and added the dazzling Hall of Mirrors, a symbol of local pride. From 8,000 residents in 1814, Corigliano grew to over 21,000 by 1951. Coastal hamlets like Piano Caruso became popular tourist spots, and in 1863, to avoid confusion with its Apulian namesake, the town proudly took the name Corigliano Calabro, securing its unique place in Italy's history. In 2018, two ancient Calabrian towns, Corigliano and Rossano, joined to form Corigliano Rossano, a union that weaves a tapestry of history stretching from sunlit beaches to a manuscript like no other. Picture the sandy shores of Schiavonea, where a fisherman like Antonio hauls in silvery sardines for pasta con le sarde, drizzled with local olive oil and brightened by a squeeze of lemon. Their wooden boats sway gently in the harbor, alive with laughter and the scent of salt and sea. This Ionian coastline, once scarred by Saracen raids, now hums with quiet strength, its turquoise waves drawing visitors to a place where past and present meet. Inland, the Sila Mountains rise with rugged trails and pine-scented air, offering a retreat for hikers and a striking backdrop for a city forged across centuries. Corigliano's heart beats with the walls of the Ducal Castle, a Norman fortress purchased by the town in 1979 and lovingly restored by 2002, now a national monument, and it opens its gates on a daily basis for tourists. Climb the spiral staircase of the Mastio Keep, dizzy with layers of history. Peer into a monk's prison carved from stone. Marvel at the Hall of Mirrors, where 19th century frescoes gleam with forgotten elegance. Gilded during the restoration efforts of Baron Luigi Compagna. Linger in the Baroness's bedroom, where faded velvet and silent walls whisper of a more opulent time. Yet Corigliano Rossano's soul rests on even deeper foundations, crowned by a singular treasure, the Codex Purpureus Rossanensis. This 6th century manuscript, unlike any other in the world, preserves the Gospels of Matthew and most of Mark, and is written in an ancient Greek on parchment dyed of royal purple. It shimmers with silver and gold ink, its 15 radiant miniatures among the earliest known Gospels illustrations. Painted in a Byzantine workshop, perhaps in Antioch, They reveal scenes from the life of Christ, a visual harmony of scripture, and a portrait of Saint Mark. How it reached Rossano remains a mystery. Some say Basilian monks, fleeing Arab invasions in the 7th century, carried it to Calabria. Others believe a noble gifted it to the diocese. By 1831, the Codex rested quietly in the Rossano Cathedral's sacristy until its rediscovery in 1879 by German scholars. Today it glows behind glass in the Museo Diocesano e del Codex, recognized by UNESCO since 2015 as a cultural masterpiece of global significance. Rossano's golden age between 540 and 1059 lives on in those purple pages. Byzantine monks like San Nilo built monasteries here, transforming the town into a bridge between East and West, where the Greek heritage of Magna Graecia blended with Byzantine splendor. The Codex's art echoes frescoes from ancient Jerusalem, tying Corigliano Rossano to a broader Mediterranean world. From Schiavonea's vibrant harbor to the castle stone's tower and the Codex's luminous page, Corigliano Rossano tells a story of resilience, faith, and beauty. Here, every step is a thread in a timeless fabric, where the past is not forgotten, but alive and woven into the very streets, stones, and stories of the city. In the heart of Calabria, the Corigliano dialect sings a timeless song, a melody shaped by the footsteps of ancient peoples and voices of conquerors who left their mark on this land. It all begins long ago with the Bruzzi, the rugged Italic shepherds who roamed these hills around the 4th century BCE. Their language, Oscan, was like a close cousin to Latin. This laid the first stones in the foundation of this unique tongue. Then came the Greeks, sailing across the Ionian Sea, founding shining cities like Sybaris. Their language, steeped in the epic tales of Homer, wove its way into the local speech, and as Christianity spread, sacred words found their place, adding depth and grace. By 193 BCE, the mighty Romans arrived. Through colonies like Turi, Latin took root, not the polished language of poets, but the hearty everyday speech of farmers and soldiers. This rugged southern Latin became the core of the dialect we hear today. The story didn't end there. Byzantine Greeks arrived with the Eastern Roman Empire, especially during Justinian's 6th century reconquest, layering their rich vocabulary over the land. Briefly, the Goths ruled in the 5th century, leaving faint whispers of their Germanic speech. Then, the 9th century Saracen raids and Arab presence in Sicily brought exotic new sounds and words, adding spice to the linguistic stew. In the 11th century, the Normans swept in, fierce knights with their French-Norman tongue, blending yet another voice into the chorus. Centuries later, under the Spanish and French Bourbons, the dialect absorbed the flair of two great European powers, wrapping Corigliano speech in history's many colors.
O cacchio bago! E come ne cresciuto anche! E nessuno se l'ha ricordato! E ma come faccio? Su mazzeranno con un po' di... Fui manite, bocche! Io, wait, ma non c'è un boys. Un boys? Che è questo boy? Manciarillo. Franci, manite, bocche, ma Giovanni. Fu! Fu! Un fermere, un appuntare, un gerere, un dovuttore, un ricogliere senza un portare che non stiamo lì a aspettare. Mani! Hey!
So, from Oscan shepherds and Greek poets to Roman farmers, Byzantine monks, Arab traders, Norman knights, and Bourbon kings, each left their echo. In Corigliano, every conversation is a bridge from the past to the present, a living chorus where every voice matters. As the golden light fades over Corigliano Rossano's castle towers and vibrant shores, the spirit of this Calabrian treasure shines on, from ancient roots to modern dreams. Its streets carry the echoes of farmers, warriors, and visionaries. Corigliano Calabro isn't just a place on a map. It's living history, where the past and present weave together. inviting all to linger in its warm, enduring embrace. Well, this has been an interesting journey. I learned so much. There were many little details that I did not know, and I'm glad I could bring it to you and show you the place where I come from, a place that is rich in history, language, and culture, a place where the weather shines and every place speaks to you, and it's truly an incredible journey. Well, thank you very much for following up. I will make the same video, but translated into Italian from my Italian friends and my Italian counterparts. And also I want to thank my uncle Luigi Gradilone, who is an excellent photographer, who provided me with the footage of the pictures that he has taken throughout the years around Corigliano and the city. I will see you next time. Bye.